Hello there. Yes, we are Geeks Assembled, and we have assembled here once again. Yes, look at this lovely lot. Look at them. And we've gathered here today to discuss The Prisoner. And this is the very first episode of The Prisoner, this classic cult TV show, Arrival. Let's go to Jason first, actually. Go ahead, Jason.
Who's Jason? I'm number 100. Just kidding.
Go ahead, number 100.
I actually enjoyed this one. Found it pretty interesting. I mean, first it got a bit confusing at first, just watching the show itself, but how it all come to place on each minute of it, and how this guy in number 6 is getting all confused, and he's like wondering like what the heck is going on around here with that kind of look, kind of face. But him trying to make some escape and all that, and it didn't work out, and these people are just spying on him. And this series itself, this episode itself, worked out pretty well. Definitely really enjoyed this one. Might end up watching more of the episodes pretty soon on this one. Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this one. The characters, I noticed Christopher Benjamin appeared in this one, who also later on appeared in Doctor Who. And yeah, he only had a few minutes of appearance on the episode itself, but definitely pretty interesting. The character number 6, definitely enjoyed. The number 2 character, that's just having these guys spying on him and spying on other people, was like, wow, this is very interesting. Even do not want to live a life like this. Especially where, I guess, in a way you're losing your memory, and I guess in a way, if you try to make escape, they will kill you, I guess. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. So I'd definitely give this a 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10. Thank you, Jason.
I see you. Welcome to the Arrival. My name is Ramona, and I'm doing my section of the podcast of Prisoner, The Arrival. And we arrive with the opening scenes of Patrick McGoohan basically resigning his tenure for being a spy. And he goes home, and he's put out for, not killed, but just put out for a field trip to find out why did he resign. And when he wakes up, he thinks he's at home until he opens the curtains, and he's not at home. He's wide awake now, and with his eyes, he is seeing the whole of the village. This story is full of symbolism. We see the all-seeing eye, and we are asked questions. Who is number 1? And foremost question, why did you resign? Symbolism in being that, are we just cogs in the machine? Or will we fit a round peg into a square hole? That's the aptitude test. We are given an opportunity to view the village in his attempt to escape from this prison island. And we also get to see someone who looks very much like Christoph from the movie The Truman Show. And of course, the escape attempt fails, as it has to, and he's brought back to the island because he tried to escape in a helicopter. And he meets what at the time is called penny, which is what I'm going to call a weather balloon or something that will chase you down, knock you out, so that you wind up in the hospital. Like I said, a lot of symbolism, a lot of Masonic stuff. Good stuff to know. Interesting stuff to know. If you know anything about the Masonic symbols, stonecutter, you might find that interesting. I'm going to wind up giving this first episode a 9 out of 10, being that there's more room for viewing and improvement, and you are going to want to watch this.
Let's go to Craig. Go ahead, Craig.
I really this series. I love quirky stuff. 1960s quirky stuff, even better. For the year it was made, I mean, it was just quality. The sets, the location just does it. I mean, they couldn't have got a better location than Fort Marion Village. The actor, he's brilliant. I like all the little individual weird characters, like the random guy who could be a clone walking around the village. And yeah, I would give it I'll give it a 10.
A 10. Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Now let's go over to Beef Dad. Yes, go ahead, Beef Dad. What did you think about this episode?
Well, I was 19 when this episode aired, and one of the things, Patrick McGoohan went on to do The Prisoner after he had done Danger Man, which was another cult British television series in which he played a secret agent. So The Prisoner really basically followed on from that. He was forever arguing with his superiors, should we say. So it basically almost was a continuation of the story of Danger Man. And I mean, you never really got his name in that. His name was Danger Man. In this, he's number 6. I'm not a number, I am a free man, is the most famous line from it. And everybody will always remember that. Supporting cast, well, you had Paul Eddington playing Cobb. I can remember the Danger Man episode that Cobb was in, and yeah, they had both been secret agents. But it looks like Paul Eddington went over to, well, gave in, shall we say. George Baker, who was the second number 2, he went on to bigger and better things. He ended up as Emperor of Rome. He played Tiberius in I, Claudius. Angelo Muscat, the butler, the little guy, he went on to do Doctor Who as well. But he's probably most famous for doing Willy Wonka. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the original one. He played the Oompa Loompas. One thing that an awful lot of people don't know about The Prisoner is there was a voiceover, someone doing voiceover, doing all the announcements in the village over the loudspeaker system. Yes, everybody remembers that? That was Fenella Fielding doing the voiceovers for that. The story, what can I say? The whole thing is intended to induce paranoia, which I think it does brilliantly. the whole thing is really paranoid in itself, but it induces a feeling of paranoia in yourself while you're watching it, because it involves you. Everybody used to look forward to the episodes when the big white balloons were in it. Basically the guardians of the village. They didn't have sort of police or anything like that. They just had big white balloons who would kill at a moment's notice. I had brilliant concept. I loved it. Nobody knows how they worked. But I can tell you now, the number twos, they had a massive amount of different big stars playing number two. And it caused a great deal of hilarity for obvious reasons. Yes. Who's number two this week? But yeah, excellent stuff. I really enjoyed it. It was going back to my teenage years watching it again. For me, it gets a 10.
Another 10. Thank you, Beef Dad. Now we've got a brand new face here. Yes, who is in fact Craig's uncle. Yes. Let's go over to Mick. Everybody say hello to Mick.
Hi there. Everything all right? Good. Oh, hang on. Craig's taking my phone.
I'm just giving you guys a tour of the prisoner car. And this is a map of the prisoner village. So you can see the Palace of Fun, mountains. This is a map of the village of the prisoner. Don't know how much you can see of that.
Pretty cool.
And that's an oil paint, a print of the base. And then this is part of the prisoner fact file from the prisoner. And I'll put you over to Mick.
Oh, thank you very much. I take it you've got all that. Anyway, yeah, it was a sort of follow-on from Danger Man and that. You know, when he left that, he went to Lou Grade and said, I've got this idea for a series. And Lou Grade wanted more episodes. He wanted 24 episodes to sell to America. And Patrick McGoohan only wanted to do 8 or 10. So they compromised with just 17 episodes and that. So it all started off sort of like that. But I think the initial starting of the programme, you know, with the music, the car, him driving, going to the office, throwing the doors open, slamming his hand down on the desk, cup jumps up, the saucer breaks, resignation down, in his car, off he goes, back to his flat, starts packing, you know, the gas comes through the door, and he's looking, and all of a sudden he just collapses. And when he wakes up, he looks like he's back in his own place and that. And then when he looks out the window, he's actually in the village, which is Port Miriam, which I don't know if anyone's been there, but it is actually a brilliant place to go and visit. And that, because you can actually go around and see everything, you know, that's been on the series, the boat. If you go on the boat, watch your head. I went in there and smashed my head on the roof, which is very painful because it's concrete. And that. But the whole series was so much, I think, in front of its time, you know, because there had CCTV cameras everywhere, which is what we've got now. Back in 1967, that wasn't around as much. So really, it was a forerunner of what we have today. Like Big Brother is watching everywhere, and no one knew who they were. So, you know, the acting on L parts was brilliant. You know, you couldn't fault Patrick McGoohan. He didn't have to say anything. He's just the way he acted and did things. It just blew everyone out. No one knew what was going on. No one knew what it was all about. But we had to watch it to find out if we could work out what was going on every week until the very end. And we still didn't know at the very end. We still didn't know what it was all about. But it was just brilliant. And for that, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Another 10. Now let's go over to Lee. Yes, Lee, your time is up. Time for
Right.
your review. Strap yourselves in, everyone.
It is one of my favourite TV shows. As everybody says, it was a sort of follow-on from Man. But Patrick McGoohan has never ever said it was, but you could obviously see it was. I mean, he was called John Drake, Danger Man, character name, but the prisoner never had a name. But as you say, the beginning of the prisoner, you took for granted that was John Drake from Danger Man resigning. Everybody thought that, but Patrick McGoohan never ever said it was. Port Miriam, yeah, what a brilliant setting for the show. It's just awesome. I've never been. I want to go. So if anybody wants to pay for a trip for me there, one-way ticket, all right then. But for me, Patrick McGoohan, he wrote, he produced, he did nearly everything on this show. It was his baby. Lou Grade gave him everything to play with on this. And as they say, the cast, you have a different number 2 every week. So you never knew who was going to be number 2 unless the chair turned round or whatever. You never knew who it was. It's also it's like a fight against society. Number 6 is fighting against society and class. This is, and progress. With the class thing, all the number 2s and everybody, the members of the village, are always like wearing school unit boaters and school scarves and jackets. About fighting against. He was fighting against this high class society, and the symbolism of the penny farthing bicycle. That McGoohan has gone down saying that was a statement of progress. It's just an awesome surreal. As the series goes along, it gets more surreal and surreal, but it's just wonderfully written, wonderfully acted. Patrick McGoohan was a brilliant actor, and to come and to create a show like this, a big thumbs up to the guy. What a brilliant actor. And also, it's, as you say, the signs of this. Was it please walk on the grass? Please walk on the grass. It's giving you you're not allowed to go past the boundaries of the village. As you said, the big weather balloon, what was named Rover, that was only put in the show by serendipity because of the original Rover sank in the sea. It was going to be a vehicle. It sank in the sea, so it was a last minute thing, and I think it was Patrick McGoohan who saw a weather balloon in the sky. Says, how many of them can we get? Let's get one of them and we'll call that a Rover. But brilliant scene with the big balloon just covering the faces and all that. He said he went through about 6,000 of them in the full series, the Rovers. So, but yeah, brilliant. I love this first episode because it sets up for the next 16 episodes. You get to know the prisoner, or number 6. You get to know the way the village works and what they're trying to do. What information has number 6 got in his head, what they really want? Are they on his side? Is it his government what's doing this, or a foreign government? You don't really find out that. So for me, it's a classic series, classic start to a series. Brilliant actors all round. It's a 10. Not a number 6, a 10.
A 10, of course it is, yes. I didn't expect anything less from you, Lee. I would be worried if it was under a 10, I would have been. But now for my turn. Well, I've never seen a full episode before. I've seen clips of it, and of course this show is so well known. I mean, the ball, the weather balloon, is just so infamous, isn't it? It appeared in everything. I mean, 2.4 Children had an episode where the husband went to the place, and of course it's appeared in The Simpsons and things like that. So many shows have copied the show, sort of thing. They've paid tribute to it, and I just loved it. I really did. I thought that for the first 4 minutes nobody speaks. For the first 4 minutes, it's just music for 4 minutes. But it just hooks you in completely. I wasn't bored for any of it. I was not bored. It kept my attention, and I kept watching it, which is unusual because sometimes I do go on my phone to check Twitter or whatever. But I just watched the whole thing. I watched it on my laptop, and it was brilliant. I just absolutely loved it. The acting is great. The scenery, which is it's a place in North Wales, is absolutely a beautiful place. I've never been there, but I've been not too far from there. It's not too far from Barmouth, actually. It's north of Barmouth. You've got to go up a bit, but it's on the same coastline as Barmouth, and that. I thought it was great. I want to watch the next episode, even if we never review the next episode. I'm going to go ahead and watch the next episode because that's how much I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to give it a 10. Has to be a 10. The acting was great. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I'm going to throw the floor open to everyone to speak.
I know how the ball, because it was in that fact file downstairs. Basically, it's a weather balloon, and they had the helicopter above it to make it go like that. So I thought that was quite interesting. Can
I just add something as well? The statues, I don't know why, it just reminded me of Blink. You know what? I just got that feeling of Blink. You know, when he's walking past the statue heads.
I thought one of the statue head ones was moving when he was trying to escape. I thought, that's William Hartnell. One of them just had the spitting image of William Hartnell. That just popped into my head when I was watching it today. But it's this TV series won't lay down and die because people follow it all over the world. And I'm going to give a promotion to Big Finish, who have done the audio of started to do the audio of The Prisoner, which is absolutely brilliant.
I hope you're getting paid by him, Lee, for plugging their stuff, because you know.
The retelling the episodes from the TV series in their own way. They're modernising them. There's 4 stories on here, 3 from the TV series and 1 original story written by the Big Finish team. So I think that's what they're doing in every box set: 3 stories and 1 original story. And you're getting the good actors in. You've got Cecilia Imrie as one of number 2, John Standing as number 2. We've got Michael Cochran, and who else have we got? Ramon Tikaram is number 2 as well. Very good actor. And playing number 6 is Mark Elstob. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. When he was cast, everybody said, well, he don't look like McGoohan. But I tell you something, he's done a very good characterisation of Patrick McGoohan on audio. If you ever can get hold of this, or just listen to the trailer on YouTube, it's worth a listen. It's worth a buy.
Yeah, it's a shame my son couldn't join us tonight because he was a real. He watched the reruns when he was quite young on British television, and really got fanatical about it. And I believe he's got the I think he's got the Prisoner Annual, and there aren't very many of those around these days.
Mm.
And the script by George Mark Steen and David Tomlin is absolutely brilliant. It really is brilliant, and the direction is just absolutely incredible. It really is. As you say, there is not a moment that you get bored because there's always something to look at. There's something to look at all the time. Even if it's just the buildings or whatever, there's always something to look at.
Yeah, the location's amazing. It really is. The location is just out of this world. It's just amazing.
There was one thing what rewatching the episode today, what jogged me memory. I can't remember if it's because I haven't watched all the episodes for a while, but the electrical repairman who came to the house, overalls, bald head, was he the same? Because there was another bald head overalls where he bumped into who was doing gardening.
Yeah,
it was the same guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was that ever explained in the series? Because I can't remember.
I can't remember. Explained.
Yeah. But I thought, is that the same guy or is it a twin? Or because he had the look of shock on his face when he bumped into him the second time.
That was Oliver McGreevy.
I got a question though. Is this just one series long, or is there more series?
They only did one series.
Oh, it's only one season. It's only one.
17 episodes.
And they tried to revive it a few years ago, didn't they?
Oh.
They had a more modern, up-to-date version of it.
I wanted to put
I didn't like that one. Yeah,
It
didn't like that
was
one.
terrible. It's not matter if you get brilliant actors like Sarah McKellen in the show. If the writing's bad, and
it wasn't the same location, was it? Can't remember.
It was. Yeah, it was set. No, it wasn't. No, it was set in a different location. I think was it set in America or somewhere in a desert place? I can't remember now.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was that, but it was awful.
Yeah.
But I don't think this could really, like, the location helps so well with this.
Yeah.
Like, visually, the location, if it was done anywhere else, I don't know whether it would work as good as it does, you know. I think the location really helps it a lot. Like, really.
Also, it's a show of its time. You cannot make it now. It's made in '67. It was the summer of love. It was all flower power. It was all this kicking against the government and stuff like that. And that's out that time made that show. If you made it now, it just would not, and it's proved it would not work. It's a show of its time, but it's still it's still breathing. It's still living the show on. It's just brilliant.
It is so good for the time. It really.
I love the design of the '60s stuff. Like, they always seem to have like little pod chairs that are just that just spin around in midair. You only get that in like William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton episode, or 1960s sci-fi, or you don't really see that anymore.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's not like here.
If you do get to Port Miriam at all, there is a shop there which does The Prisoner and Doctor Who stuff in there as well. If ever you get there, anybody.
Yes, because Doctor Who filmed there as well.
Yeah, what was we saying, Ali? Was it Mask of Mandragora?
Yeah, Mask of Mandragora. Yeah, that's the one that filmed there. Yeah, with Tom Baker and Sarah Jane.
Yeah,
they filmed that there. Brilliant location.
People live there, don't they now?
Oh yeah.
Yes, real village. It's always been a real village, though. It wasn't built for the show or anything. It's a real village.
Yeah, and they had one of the most famous potteries in the country, really.
Yes, it's in North Wales. Yeah.
You've got to thank Patrick McGoohan for that, for the Port Miriam, because he was the one who discovered the village about a year or so before, 2 years or so before. I think they filmed an episode of Danger Man there or something, but he loved it so much he suggested it to Lou Grade about filming it there. And the rest is history.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's behind us.
Everything's history. Yesterday was history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So does anybody else have anything else to add about The Prisoner?
I've got one thing up there. Be seeing you.
Yes.
Yes, be seeing you.
Oh.
And it looks like
your ducks at the lava lamp again.
the lava lamp is actually beginning to lava.
It takes its time.
It takes a hell of a long time to warm up.
It's age.
Yeah.
It is an original at the time, and what you've also got to remember is that was one of the first things you saw in his flat. Was a lava lamp, an orange lava lamp, which is what that is. Although you can't see the orange very well on the screen by the looks of this. And they must have put it on about an hour or so before they filmed, because
it looks pretty similar to that one. It looks identical, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes an awful long time to warm up, so they must have put all those lava lamps on at least an hour before they filmed.
Mm. I'm sure Craig edits orange later on.
I've got a Superman lava lamp.
Well, we don't. Well, yeah. Well, we don't.
We're not doing Superman, Craig. You've come to the wrong cast. At least you actually watch this episode, though.
I was trying to find facts about the prisoner today, but I ended up on YouTube looking at North Korean prison.
What? North Korean prison? What?
Yeah.
How do you get onto that?
Wrong thing.
Oh dear. Craig, your mind does
I'll
wander.
edit that bit.
No, leave it in. Leave all the swearing in too. All the swearing Beef Dad's done. Yeah, leave that in and... Anyway, does anybody else have anything to add about the prisoner before we descend into chaos, as usual?
There is talk that they're going to try and make a film of it.
Are they?
Yeah. Whether it's going to work, it's been going on for a few years. Every time they go to do it, it seems to drop out. There's no new talk now. They're talking about trying to film it. Whether it will happen or not, no one knows.
Yeah, it's probably one of these things that they talk about. It's like the Red Dwarf movie, you know, it was talked about, never happened, you know.
I think
I don't think a prisoner movie would work.
No, I don't think it'll work myself, no.
No.
Works as a TV series, doesn't it?
Mm.
Not as a film. This wouldn't work as a film. No.
Well, you haven't got enough time to fit everything into 90 minutes.
No. I mean, this is 51 minutes long.
So
this first episode is 51. They're all 51 minutes are there, yeah.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
So if you think about 17 times 51, well, it's a lot longer than a film wouldn't be that long. Needs to be like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
You get at least about 15 hours, so 15 to 16 hours.
I don't think I could sit through a cinema that long.
I couldn't sit through a cinema that long, no. Unless they offered free popcorn and drinks. I might then, yeah. But not otherwise. There'd have to be a lot of intervals, wouldn't there? You'd have to have a lot of intervals. Otherwise, you'd be dying for a pee, sitting through 15 hours.
The script.
I suppose there's always cups, but no.
Who is lowering the tone now?
Craig, as always. Come on.
Don't start on Craig.
What did you say, Craig?
I'm on my best behaviour because we're recording.
Yes, the dear viewers don't know what it's like offcast, really. Yeah. Really, we should record all the time we're in these Zooms. Like, record the whole thing. I mean, Craig might behave himself. Anyway, does anybody else have anything to add about this episode?
It was
the guy who played the Undertaker. Philip Madden, I believe. And the only thing you saw him do was walk up to the door and start gassing number 6. He did loads and loads and loads of films. And he said that he was always cast as a baddie because he had such a miserable bloody face.
Well, I tell you now, there's lots of baddies in this cast then.
Yeah, he did things like...
let's not point about
Russia with Love.
Yeah.
Dr. Zhivago. What else did he do? Oh, One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, and he did loads of television. but invariably playing a villain because he was so miserable and just had one of those faces.
You've got to laugh. You got to laugh. This is going to break. This is going to break the podcast up completely. But my partner's locked himself out and is now ringing the doorbell. I'll be back in a minute. He's locked himself out.
I should have clothes on.
Oh dear. Talk amongst ourselves.
Yes, go on then.
See, with the prisoner map you had there, that was the colour version, so that was the most expensive one in the shop.
Yeah.
Why? I wish they'd done they made that in colour, but Doctor Who was in black and white.
I'm back.
Because the prisoner was on ITV, Doctor Who was on the BBC. BBC didn't go colour until, was it 70?
Yeah, it was quite late. They were quite late. Yeah.
Anyway.
ITV had colour about mid-60s.
Yeah.
Anyway, does anybody else have anything to add about this episode?
Afraid not.
How's your partner? You okay?
Yeah, I've let him back in now. Yeah, he has to go out during the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he went so late, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Number 2.
Let's end it there. Well done. Let's end it there. I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell us what you think about this episode of The Prisoner, and also hit that subscribe button. Look after yourself. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Be seeing you.
There we go.